Thank you guys for joining me today. Unafraid, Reister or wrong. We got a couple great things. I'm George Reister, first of all. Please make sure you like the feed, share the feed, continue the conversation. I got a few things for you guys today that are pretty, I think they're really good. All right. First of which is Kyrie Irving. So he went on First Take this morning, and he kind of sort of explained himself why he left LeBron. I'm going to go into that. And the other thing is that the Falcons, they are not winners. Like, nothing about the Falcons says that they're winners at all. And also, KD went on Twitter. Oh, yeah, he messed this one up big time. I posted a picture of it on my Twitter, so you can check it out on his Twitter faux pas. And also, Canelo and Triple G, the fight was this weekend. It was an amazing fight, but it kind of left you with a sour taste in the mouth after you saw the result and the and what the judges had to say. First thing off, we're going to get to Kyrie first and foremost, because I have been very hot about this topic. I've been hot about LeBron. I've been hot about Kyrie. I've been hot about this whole situation because so many people had this wrong. When he decided he wanted to leave Cleveland, everybody thought, oh, he has to have some big problem with LeBron, that they must have had some sort of falling out. He didn't talk to LeBron. He dissed LeBron, all this. But he got on there. First and foremost, I want to give Kyrie credit because he was in the Matrix with Max and Stephen A in the beginning. He was dodging questions like nobody's business. It was incredible. So the dude is great at that. But he also, I'm going to tell you in a minute, one thing he said that was the most important thing that we need to learn just as people in terms of a life lesson. Kyrie taught us that today. But first up, though, Kyrie, he is smart in the fact that he did not talk to LeBron before he made his decision. That was the smartest thing that Kyrie could have done, is not talk to LeBron, because there was nothing LeBron could do to rectify the situation. There was nothing he could do. Like, LeBron can't change who he is. He can't change his basketball game. So it's not going to give Kyrie what he needs. Because we talk about in life, right? We talk about living in truth, living in honesty, and all these things, but he couldn't be who he really is. And Kyrie showed us he could work with the team. He can play his role, which is what he did in Cleveland. And what's the knock on Kyrie Irving? Oh, he doesn't make his teammates better. He averaged 3 assists. He's not a true point guard. He cannot be a true point guard when LeBron is the point guard of the Cleveland Cavaliers. You can list him at forward. You can list him at center. You can list him at whatever position that you want to. But the reality is that the majority of the time, LeBron is doing he is starting the offense. He's the person who's getting everybody else involved and dominating the basketball. This is exactly why when LeBron is off the court, his teammates don't play offense well, because his style of play does not enable them and does not encourage them to be offense initiators. It does not empower his teammates to be better. Yes, that works well for the James Joneses of the world, all the litany of average or below average players that he's played with. It works for them because it helps them get open shots and all that. But for the stars like the Kevin Loves, the Chris Boshes of the world, and the Kyrie Irving, it limits their game and it hurts their future. It does. Because Chris Bosh was a top 5, top 7 NBA player in Toronto before he went down to Miami. Goes down to Miami. Oh, he's a bum. He can't get it done. Chris Bosh is just not the man. Same thing with Kevin Love, who was averaging like 25 or 26 and 12 before he went down to LeBron. Kyrie Irving thought could be one of the best point guards in the league when he came out of Duke, after 1 year playing about 3-4 games. These are the parts that we have to really remember, right? And people are saying, oh, why would he want to leave a winning situation? Here's the parts that you got to remember, right? Is he brought it up in there. He said being happy is more important than anything else. And when you start living your life for other people, what does anybody know? Well, anybody that you know or anybody that you've heard on television or old people talk, when they say that they have lived their life for other people, what one word do they all have in common? Regret. Regret. Because winning championships is cool, but Kyrie knows that he can do that or potentially achieve that elsewhere. LeBron might be walking out the door, and then also he was being subjected to a role that's not in his, that he didn't feel is in his character, that he feels is not only just believe that he is. He actually, Kyrie Irving, in his mind, believes that he is not only a superstar player, but he is one of the best players in the league. And now, would you be okay living your life for somebody else the same way that LeBron potentially is doing? That Kyrie was doing. Would you be okay with living your life for somebody else, or the way other people want you to live your life? You would regret that. And that's what Kyrie is doing. He made the best move for himself, made the best move for his life, because he brought something else up. He said living in truth. Because living in truth is very important. Because the narrative displayed about Kyrie is what? Oh, he's a shoot first. He is a dribble ISO player. He can't get other people involved. But the reality is this. This is no knock against LeBron, because LeBron is fantastic at what he does. But there's a quote that I love. It says, "A man's weaknesses flow from the same well as his strengths." And LeBron's strengths are being an excellent teammate. He's the greatest of all time in terms of off the court. He's great with his teammates, takes care of them, is a good human being, treats his family right, all these things, greatest of all time. And on the court, he's unselfish. He passes the ball, gives other people opportunities to take shots. But the weakness to that is that you always are the giver. And in terms of, you don't allow those other people to grow and flourish offensively because they're so dependent upon you. It's kind of like a kid, right? If I have a kid who's 6 years old. If I tie his shoe every single time, or if I don't allow him to walk to the corner, or do something else, venture out on his own a little bit to be independent, guess what he will be? He will be dependent. And that's the same thing that went on with LeBron in Cleveland. His teammates are dependent upon him. So his strengths, which is sharing the ball, all this stuff, is also his weakness. That's the thing that brings his weak part. Like his kryptonite is that. That's his kryptonite. But one thing that Kyrie said that I must echo more than anything, that I feel like that I had to stand up and say, wow, this man's a genius. This man's a genius. Because they asked him about the noise and distraction of leaving Cleveland, going over to Boston, asking to be traded, all those things, and how big a distraction it was going to be in Boston. And he pointed out something that was very, very interesting, and it sounded very Kobe-like. Because you know Kobe's his friend / mentor. Because a lot of what he did today was very Kobe-like. He said noise and distraction don't exist when you're focused on your task and what you're doing. I was like, damn, Kyrie. I was like, damn, forget all that earth is flat stuff that you be saying. That's a genius move right there, Kyrie. I love that, because that's the truth. NFL teams get to talking about noise and distractions. NBA teams, analysts, reporters, all this, they get to talk about distractions, right? But if you're focused on your task, you're focused on what you're doing, how can you really have distractions? You can't have distractions, because if that's your singular focus, then that's what you're putting your time, energy, and dedication into. Kyrie was made out to be the bad guy. And in this whole LeBron, Kyrie situation, because I get that LeBron was upset. I mean, naturally so, because he looks like the bad guy. And he's not the bad guy. This was a situation of incompatibility in terms of what Kyrie wanted for his life, his truth, what he wants to be out in the world, is not compatible with LeBron. Yes, it won a championship. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be happy if you're doing something that you don't want to be doing. I mean, how many times do we get the idea that money makes us happy, right? Because I remember when I was a kid, I was growing up, we didn't have money. I went to a school called the Buckley School, like it's a $30,000 a year school, had a scholarship to go there. And I thought my whole life, said, you know what, when I get money, I'm going to be happy. Like, that's going to be the thing that actually like transforms my life and makes me happy, gets rid of all the problems that I thought I had. Wrong. There couldn't have been anything more wrong than I thought. Because it doesn't make you happy. And it doesn't change your situation. That's why you have people who make millions of dollars, billions of dollars that are really unhappy doing all this other crazy stuff. That's why. So back to it. I did say earlier, if you were not on, that Kyrie was a genius and he was smart for not talking to LeBron about the situation before he left. Before he left Cleveland. That was the best move. Because there was nothing that LeBron could do except for convince him to stay. LeBron is not going to change his game, change the way he does things, or give Kyrie the freedom to be who he wants to be, live his truth. No way. No way was he going to be able to do that. So he had to get up out of there. And the timing was very interesting when this came out. Because Kyrie had the discussion with the team about wanting to be traded before he went to China on his trip. But when did it come out? When he was in China. I don't think that LeBron James and his camp did this. Do you know who I think is responsible for this? Mr. Dan Gilbert. Mr. Dan Snake in the Grass Gilbert. Why would I not assume it's him? He's the same man who wrote this letter about LeBron calling him he's the owner of the Cavaliers, wrote the letter about him being basically the worst person in the world. He'll never win another championship before he comes back to Cleveland. He's not loyal. He's heartless. All these things. Yep. So that's why he would leak that about Kyrie, because he wants to villainize Kyrie. Wants to villainize him. But that does not work. You see what I'm saying? That makes sense to you? And I will say this about Kyrie as well, because he is a Kobe guy, right? Kobe's his mentor / friend. He is Kobe with a heart. That's who Kyrie is. He's Kobe with a heart. Because when you think about Kobe Bryant, who I love, in terms of being a basketball player, he really, I believe, only loves like 7 people out in the world. Because, you know, his mom and dad kind of turned their back on him. Did some shady stuff to him. Really only loves about 7 people. Loves 2 girls, his unborn daughter, his wife, Dr. Jerry Buss, the late owner of the Lakers, Magic Johnson, and Shaq. Those are the only people that he loves. Only people. And it's incredible. So that's who Kyrie is. And in the day and age that you have, like, he dropped his trade kicker to get the trade. So it's not about money. This is not about money or wanting to be the man. Because if you look at the teams that Kyrie said he wanted to go to, the Spurs, which he wouldn't be the best player, but he would have to share the ball and play basketball very similarly to what he thought he was going to have to play at Duke. That's the truth. The next thing up, though, you guys are watching Unafraid, Right or Wrong. Please like the feed, share the feed, and let me tell you what's really going on out here with the Atlanta Falcons. Because the truth is, the Atlanta Falcons are the same team they were last year. They are not Super Bowl contenders. They are a team who is essentially faking it to make it. They're a team that looks really good on paper. They are a team who is very talented, They have all the goods, but they will end up being the Buffalo Bills. Yes, they will end up being the Buffalo Bills. Oh, really? Oh, you are not so sure, huh? Let me give you an example. Last night, the game against the Green Bay Packers was the epitome of the Atlanta Falcons. The same thing I've said about Matt Ryan, because so much credit was given to Tom Brady for the comeback in the Super Bowl. Yeah, he did it. Yes, he did a decent job. But the reality is this. That game was more on the Falcons. It was more on Matt Ryan than it was credit for the Patriots. The Falcons are not a winners. They're a winning team, but they're not winners. Winners, when they get up on teams, they keep pushing. They stomp on their necks, figuratively, and they don't let you up. But that's not what the Falcons do. The Falcons, when they get up, what do? They get up big. Same thing they did in the Super Bowl. Same thing they did last night. That's why their crowd. I mean, it was funny to me because the crowd got tight. You could hear the new Falcons Stadium like, ooh, hopefully they don't come back. Hopefully they don't come back. The players got a little bit tight because they don't have that killer instinct. After the Green Bay scored a couple touchdowns, oh boy, them Falcons fans got nervous. I know y'all got nervous when you were watching. I know you did, dogs, man. I know you did. See, because Matt Ryan and this team, they get to playing prevent offense. They get to playing prevent offense where, we're not going to make the big mistake. We're up big. Let's not make a mistake. Do what you did to get the damn lead. No, we don't need to be doing trick plays and all that, but you still need to continue to run your offense. Like, why on earth would you stop running your offense? It doesn't make sense to me. Because you're up, I'm going to stop running my offense? It's the third quarter. It's different if it's 4 minutes to go in the game. It's the third quarter and you're running prevent offense? That's the sign of a team that is not winners. When you go into prevent offense, it doesn't make sense. Because you know what this feels like to me? It feels like the Atlanta Falcons they're like that person who has like literally never won anything or never had anything great going for them in their life. What do? Instead of continuing to do what they did to get that win or get that greatness, nope. They just want to sit by and hold on until the game's over with. Hold on to it tight. Hold on. Don't let it go. Don't mess up. Don't let it go. But that's not what winners do. That's not what the Patriots do. It's not what Floyd Mayweather does. It's not what the Dallas Cowboys did when they were winning in the 90s. That's not what the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Golden State Warriors do. No, when they get on you, yes, they may be up by 30, but they'll go up by 50 if they can. The Atlanta Falcons seem content. Yeah, we're up 25. We're up 30. Yeah, I know it's the third quarter, but we should be able to hold on from here. What? That's how you get come back on in the Super Bowl. It reminds me of a Bible verse, like a parable. That parable where the man, he gives his sons the 3 talents, right? One of them goes out and invests it. He makes it into way more money, right? And the next one, he goes and just blows it. Just takes the talents, all this stuff. I'm talking about the Atlanta Falcons and what they feel like as a team. It totally reminds me of that Bible parable where the man gives the sons the 3 talents. One invests it, one goes and blows it, and the other one goes and buries it. And then after a while, the dad comes back and says, yo, what did you do with these talents? One says, Dad, here's what I brought back. I got all this. I done grew all this. The other one says, I went out and had a good time. I partied it up. Got hella memories, Dad. And the other one's like, here's your 1 talent back. And you're like, what did you do with it? He's like, nothing. I didn't do anything. I just protected it. I made sure I didn't lose it. What? I mean, that makes you upset. Because you're like, do something with it. Don't just sit there and just be happy and rest on your laurels. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. So that's who the Falcons are. Like, they are the Buffalo Bills of right now. That's who they are. The next thing up, though, is Canelo and Triple G. Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin, who fought this weekend. Everybody was excited about this fight. This fight was like supposed to be a bigger spectacle than Mayweather McGregor. This was supposed to be the fight to save boxing, right? And boxing, at the end of the day, it ended up as a draw. I can't tell you there's not more in sports that I hate than a draw. There has to be a winner or a loser. Like, don't give me a damn draw. I don't want any part of that. Don't give me a draw. But that's what they gave us. And the worst part about it, aside from we'll get to the 118, 110 judge, worst thing about it is that boxing ended up on a great night where you had two fighters pour their heart out in the ring. You don't get a winner, and boxing ended up losing because of that. The judges got in the way. But even before the judges, I want to just go in on Triple G, because I'm like, drug test this man. Drug test Triple G. Because under no circumstances should a man be getting hit with counter punches at this level and walk right through them. I mean, this dude is not a human being. Not at all. Like, he's the person that, like, in a scary movie, like when you hit Jason with a bat, what does he do? He just keeps on walking. Just keep on walking at you. And that's who Triple G is. And if I were Canelo, honestly, I would be a little bit discouraged about if I could really beat this man. Because he ate a lot of hard punches and walked right through them. But the setup for the next fight, though, is, because there's going to be a rematch. The setup for the next match for both of these dudes is, you know what? The fans are going to win. The fans are going to end up winning in the rematch because they both know that they have to go for a knockout. Like, there's no more sitting there boxing it up because neither guy can control the other guy enough. So the only way to win is just to box him up. You see what I'm saying? That makes sense to you? Somebody's got to get knocked out. That's the only way that you win in boxing right now. Because you can't depend on the judges because they won't get it right. They won't get it right at all. Next and last thing up. Thank you guys for watching Unafraid. Right or wrong, please like the feed, share the feed, continue the conversation. Last thing up is the Raiders, right? Oh no, I'm sorry. KD. Oh, we definitely need the heavyweight division back in boxing there, because these it's fun watching the little guys, but I miss the big guys knocking each other out and pounding each other. Like, that was just a lot better. The next thing up, though, is Kyrie Irving. I didn't mean Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant. So if you look on my Twitter today, right? It's been kind of out there for a while. So Kevin Durant inadvertently, with what appears to be that he inadvertently tweeted from the wrong account. And when by that I mean, if you are a savvy Instagram or Twitter user, you know that you can have more than one account on your phone, right? So you can have multiple accounts on there. And so you can switch back from one to other and reply to things and all that, right? And he said, and what Kevin Durant said in replying to this Cole Cashwell dude, he said, man, I got to respect, here's what the guy said to KD. At KD Trey 5, I got to respect the hell out of you, but give me one legitimate reason for leaving OKC other than getting a championship. Kevin Durant tweeted back, he didn't like the organization or playing for Billy Donovan. His roster wasn't that good. It was just him and Russ. Then he went on to say, imagine taking Russ off that team. See how bad they were. KD can't win a championship with those cats. So that he was speaking in third person, so that clearly lets you know that he was not trying to send that tweet as KD. And he let it out there. He let the cat out of the bag, and now you know what KD is really thinking. I'm not mad at KD for this for two reasons. Number one, I like when athletes speak their mind and are honest and tell the truth. You can't always do that on your real account, so I'm not mad at that. And the second thing is, KD is the definition of I don't care what people think, but everything I do really shows that I really do care about what people think. That's KD. He doesn't care, but his ass really does care though. He does. Because if you look at the bottom of his shoes, the new KD 10s in the Warriors colorway, what do they say? Champion. Oh, he's a loser. He's this. He's not loyal. All that on the bottom of the shoes because he cares about what you think. There's only one more athlete that cares about what you think, the fans, what we think, more than Kevin Durant, and that's LeBron James. LeBron James cares. He acts like he doesn't care. I don't think he lets it bother him as much as KD does. I think he used to. But LeBron hears the noise. That's why you see him responding to it so much on Twitter, on Facebook, on his Instagram, and all that. But one thing about the social media is it'll tell on you. Just told on Ted Cruz last week liking the porn. And guess what? Told on KD here. Because one of the biggest ones that'll tell on you is Instagram. Instagram will tell on you when you watch somebody's story. Because there will be people who watch your Instagram story on a daily basis. I mean, literally a daily basis. Won't follow you, but will watch your story on a daily basis because they want to know what you're doing. But they want to pretend like they don't want to know what you're doing. But you just like, yo, if you're going to look at the story every day, because it's somebody who's not supposed to follow you. But if you're going to do it, you might as well do it. Be out there. Live out there in the open. That's just the truth. Don't sit there and hide behind everything else. Do it. Tell the truth. So I'm not mad at KD for that, but that's just what it is. That is just what it is. You guys, before I get to the one thing that you don't know for the day, because we're going to start putting this at the end of the show, is one thing you don't know for the day. Okay. One thing that you don't like or know for the day, before we get to that, is the team that I am most excited about this year in the NFL is the Raiders. Did you see that video of Marshawn dancing on the Jumbotron? I will tell you this. It is absolutely amazing. It is amazing. He's dancing. He's back in his hometown of the OAK doing his thug thizzle, right? Town business. What? The crowd is energized in a way that they've never been energized. No, this is not hype. This is absolute greatness. Because the Raiders have something that they were missing when they went to the Super Bowl with Rich Gannon. They have a superstar at quarterback in Derek Carr. The kid is fantastic. They got Crabtree, Amari, Marshawn Lynch, and he's not the only back. They got edge rushers, the defensive MVP, Khalil Mack. This is a team that's going places. And when you see the Patriots who are being decimated by injury, that is my team. That is my pick to win the Super Bowl right now. I know there are some of you who are going to be out there saying, oh, well, you know his wife likes the Raiders so much and that's why you're rooting for the Raiders. Hell no. Hell no. I just call it like I see it, man. I call it like I see it. Same thing in college football. When I've told you guys the two best teams in the country right now, the two teams that I think are going to win the national championship, not that I think, that I believe will win the national championship. One of the two. The Oklahoma City Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma State Cowboys, and the Penn State Nittany Lions. Those are the two teams that you have to watch out for this year because they are going to win. And so here's the one thing that you don't know, right? Before we end the show, the one thing that you don't know today is, so when I was in Jacksonville, right? I'm going to tell you the one time that I was actually a little bit, this was my welcome to the NFL moment, which was, so many of you guys have seen the video of Big John Henderson, who I used to play with in Jacksonville, when he gets slapped by the trainer Joe Sheehan before the game, and then he storms out of the locker room, all that stuff, right? So one of my first games in the NFL, Big John was probably like third year or so. He was already doing this, and I had no idea because this is the year before they filmed us on Hard Knocks. And I'm standing there looking at, so the wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, everybody, they go out before the linemen to go warm up before the game in pregame. We're sitting there catching the balls, all this stuff, and my tape was on wrong. Like it was cutting into my leg. So my tape was hurting. And Big John, and so I go back into the locker room to get retaped. And as I'm walking in, the linemen are kind of all in the little hallway getting ready to go out. And I walk into the training room. And as I walk into the training room, I see, the first thing I see when I hit the corner is Joe Sheehan just turn around and just, bam, slap Big John. And I'm looking up, I mean, mind you, Big John was like 6'7", 350. I mean, that's not fat man, that's big man. And he was strong and he was crazy, right? I mean, like legitimately on game day or when he had been drinking, crazy, like certifiable, like stun gun crazy. Like multiple stun gun crazy. And I'm sitting there and I see this, and as a rookie, I'm 21 years old and I've never seen nothing like this before. And I look over, I'm like, damn, like what the hell is going on? And then Big John goes, Joe, what the hell is wrong with you? You better hit me like a man. Blah, 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 blah. Goes off. Slaps him again. He was like, I taste blood. Woo! And then put his helmet on and like stormed. And he's walking at me, right? He's got this like crazed Cujo rabbit look in his eyes, right? And he was walking past me. Well, not even walking, but he's storming, I would say. And I remember I was standing in the middle of the hallway. I see he's going to beat me in about 5 minutes. I mean, about 5 seconds. So I lean up. I mean, mind you, the hallway is only about, I mean, like literally like 7 feet wide. And he takes up about 3 of them himself. So I lean up against the wall like, maybe he won't see me. Like, maybe he won't see me if I'm right here. Because I don't know what the hell this dude is going to do. He might just try to just run me over at this point in time. So, and he storms by, and I'm sitting there like, what the hell is going on? And I walk in there, and I tell Joe, I'm like, Joe, what the hell just happened? He was like, oh, man, we do that all the time. I'm like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. This is craziness. Why can't we just go play football? So anyways, guys, that's the show for today. Unafraid. Please make sure you like the feed, share the feed, continue the conversation. Please appreciate you guys joining me. Peace out. And check out all the stuff on my Twitter, Facebook, all that. Yeah, catch you guys tomorrow.